Okay, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new review. Brighton just beat Arsenal in what many people actually predicted. Let's be honest here. It wasn't a surprise to a lot of people. Joining with me is, first of all, Ola. Ola, say hello to the people.
Yeah, what's happening, people? I hope you lot ain't feeling too down. You lot can't be too surprised at what's just happened. So, yeah, just pick your chins off the ground. Let's go on with the show, and we'll try and dissect it like Mr. DJ said earlier on.
Yeah. And making his very first appearance, well, I'll say appearance, audio appearance, so to say, for today's show is the host of the Gooner Talk, Tom Canton. So say hello to people, Tom.
Hello, guys. Absolute pleasure to be on. Thank you for the invite.
No problem, no problem. Big fan of your show. Right. Oh, and for those of you thinking, wait, where's Lee? Lee's running late. I don't know. They want to hold up the show, so I figured I'm already late as it is. So I thought he'll jump on at some point. So you guys just, so Lee will be coming on. Right, so let's try and dissect this mess. Ola, when the match initially started and I saw the starting lineup, I kind of just shrugged my shoulders and thought, okay, Chambers at right back, oh, I don't really like that. Iwobi, okay. What was your first impression of the starting lineup?
We weren't too surprised about the lineup, to be fair. You know, considering the players we had available, the players that's been through the cup final and the 3-0 battering that we got from Man City midweek. You know, confidence was running low. Wenger always does this thing about playing players through confidence. So, I mean, the only one that was probably, I wouldn't say shocked about, but he got roasted that much that I thought, you know what, maybe he needs to come out of the team for a second, and that was Bellerin. But other than that, you know, the other guys that featured were pretty much the guys you expected to be on the pitch. So I wasn't too surprised about the lineup at all.
Okay, and Tom, were you happy enough with the lineup that you saw? Was there any further changes you would have made?
I mean, I was surprised to see Chambers start at right back, to be honest. I still thought Bellerin would play, especially considering how poor Chambers was in the cup final. But he got the start, and I was like, oh, fair enough. Let's just see how he gets on. And I mean, Izquierdo just absolutely ruined him down that side in terms of his pace. It was the worst possible matchup you could hope, because you'd expect Bellerin to play against the Colombian, because obviously the guy came in from Club Brugge and he's absolutely rapid, as you saw today. And Bellerin probably would have been the better matchup. So that was surprising. Iwobi, I never get when he starts games these days. I genuinely struggle to find sense in starting Iwobi because he just loses the ball so many times. He's the complete representation of Arsenal as a youngster at the moment, just coming through and just trying to be that just the passiveness. The passiveness of his play is so boring and just so it's just so accepting of Wenger's ways, and he's not risky, he doesn't try things. It's so monotonous that it doesn't ever invigorate any sort of dynamism into the team. And I just cannot see where his creativity is going to bring anything to Arsenal. And then, to be honest, why Xhaka starts games these days, I have no idea. I can't stand why. I mean, El Neni gets a lot of stick from the fans, which I don't really get. And I have, in fairness, defended Xhaka on many occasions, because I think in the right system he can be a good player. But at the moment he is playing terribly. So in terms of the lineup, I can complain about these players, but we had enough quality on that pitch to beat Brighton. No doubt.
You would have thought so, right? You'd have thought so. And to be honest, as controversial as this might sound, I thought for the first 5, maybe 6 minutes, they looked like they were at least determined to get something out of the game. As crazy as that sounds, talking about an Arsenal side, but they looked like they were committed in tackling. They looked like they were in control. And then literally, I think I sent a tweet about that.
Yeah,
and
I
then
saw
about
that tweet. Jinxed it.
I think I genuinely, my bad. I think I jinxed them. I don't know what I did, but they just scored a goal and it just fell apart. I mean, Ola, what did you think about our opening, the opening 5 minutes or so of the game, and then how it then transpired throughout the first half?
For me, I just thought we had possession here and there, but we didn't show intent. We didn't show no intent to attack them. And me saying that, I mean, we didn't use the width of the pitch enough. We weren't attacking on the flanks. I thought we were going too narrow, always coming back on the inside, especially Iwobi. I don't know why he kept doing that. We had no options out wide. And for me, the first goal that we conceded, it just set the story of the game. We set ourselves up to be a laughing stock in today's match day. And you go to think of it like where is the fight? Where's the intensity? Where's the loyalty that you want to show all these traveling fans today that's gone out there to support the team? We've had terrible weather conditions over the last few days. People have had to drive all the way to Brighton, and this is what they get. I just thought to myself, the first few minutes of the game, we showed no intention of even trying to win this game. Brighton showed all the intention. They showed like they were in sixth place. They showed like they wanted the 3 points. They came out fighting, and it was clear for everyone to see. It was, for me, I just thought today, were they playing for the manager today? The first few minutes of the game would show any fan that, look, we're playing for the shirt today. We're playing for the manager today. We're not going to hide behind the manager today. And I didn't see that in the first few minutes of the game. I didn't. All I saw was us picking up the ball out of the back of our net, which, is no surprise, is it?
I mean, this question I was going to say, ask Tom really, and that was because I know the way Ola feels about it, and then Lord knows everyone knows the way Lee feels about it. But I suppose Tom, what is your real stance on Arsene Wenger and what is happening at the moment? Because regardless of whether you're stupid, Wenger out, Wenger in thing, it's very clear to me that the players are not responding to the manager, or apparently the coaches, who you would have thought this week of all weeks, particularly after those 2 back-to-back defeats to City, they would have been right on it today. And after the first opening 5-10 minutes, there was nothing there. There was nothing left. I mean, is that a worrying? Is that really worrying sign? Even if you're Wenger and you want to front up to the media and you want to say all the things that you want to say, from a human standpoint, that must be really difficult, right?
100%, mate. I think you summed it up brilliantly. I think when it comes down to the players and the performance they put in a reaction to the 2 games against Manchester City and the defeat to obviously the Swedish side, Östersunds, I think you're looking at a huge insult to the fans who have travelled down there. The fans put in a lot of effort, as we know. I know plenty of people have gone down today. For the team to put in that amount of effort after going a goal down, I mean, you spoke about how you thought we started brightly in the first 5 minutes, but to go a goal down and respond in that way with no fight and no effort is so insulting to those fans who made the long trip down to Brighton today. I mean, they are ironically singing at us, calling us Northerners during the game. But and I know it's not that far of a distance, but those fans have still made the effort to go down there, as Lee does on a regular occasion. We've gone up there to watch them play Forest and get absolutely ruined. We've gone to watch them in Palace, me and Lee Judges last season. We lost 3-0. It's a joke to see them put in these performances and think that they can just come back each week and set their pay packet and move on to the next match. It's unfair to those fans. And you asked me what my opinion is on Arsene Wenger. I mean, at the end of the day, he has to go. And I tweeted out after the game today saying that I've been on the fence for so long about should we let him stay until the end of the season and then allow him to leave. Well, to be honest, for me, it's gone past that point. Any dignity that he would have by resigning at the end of the season is dead. It's buried. It's gone. There is no dignity left. The legacy has been destroyed by his inability to take any responsibility for what's going on, any accountability for what's going on at this club, and leave the role after the cup finals years ago. But he hasn't done that. He's decided to stay on. He's decided to take another 10 million a year, and he's not worth any penny of that so far. There is, and I mean, I couldn't believe the comments he was making after the City game where it's like the second goal was offside. What a load of rubbish. What an absolute insult to say that we didn't deserve, like we deserve to get just a 2-0 bash instead of a 3-0. Take some responsibility. Say that we played bad. Say that you employed the wrong tactics. Say that you should have done something different. Say that you should be directing that team on the pitch a lot more that you're doing right now, and take responsibility for your actions, because he's not doing it right now.
Exactly. I mean, to me, you thought that was a ludicrous comment. I think what the worst comment to me was when he came out in the after the second City defeat, saying that was our highest physical performance. And I know what he meant, but it was just like, why would you need to say that after such a result? Why would you say that? It's just poor. Welcome, Lee. I see you popped in there quietly. For once.
Good afternoon. I was just sitting back watching. Sorry I took so long as well. YouTube was giving me headache. So
no worries.
Yeah, I'm here now.
So I bet you're thankful you didn't make the trip down, as Tom was talking about.
I'm buzzing, man. I had a nice lay in. I woke up at midday. Took a nice bath, had some food, and then the game kicked off. So yeah, I'm buzzing I didn't go, because I wouldn't be back until about probably 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I was going to say 6, 7, right?
Yeah, it's about 120 miles away from where I live. So, yeah, it would have been a bit of a trek. So, yeah, I'm buzzing I didn't go, because, mate, what we just witnessed there was just a load of rubbish, really, wasn't it? Iwobi's talking to Alex Scott before kickoff, going, "Oh, yeah, you know, we're going to go out there today and we're going to show them what we can do." And come on, mate, stop talking. Iwobi, seriously. Yeah, I know he's your boy and all that, but Alex Iwobi must be Nigerian. Alex, you boys are Nigerian, yeah? Alex Iwobi must be Nigerian for "I'm useless." Yeah? Yeah, it must be, innit? Do you know what I mean?
No, but you know what, Lee, man. I mean, I have to say here, the boy has been wank lately, no doubt about it. But I keep saying it, he doesn't pick himself. Yeah, if the manager can see that he's been wank lately and keeps picking him, you know, surely the manager should be taking him out of the firing line if he's seen that the boy ain't doing the business that he's supposed to be doing. You know, everybody goes out of form on that, yeah, and I can understand that it's not just him, but for the manager to keep playing him. I mean, he had an hamstring the other day. I wasn't expecting him to be back so soon. But sure, it goes to show how desperate Wenger is to keep playing him. There's other players there that people like Reece Nelson surely could make a case for that position. But Wenger keeps picking him. And if he keeps picking him, he's not going to say, "Boss, I don't feel like playing today." You know, he hasn't got that Ozil status yet, where he can decide when he wants to play and when he doesn't want to play. So, you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, he's not going to say he doesn't want to play. So, I mean, he's getting thrown to the Lions at the moment. And, yeah, he definitely needs to keep his head down, stay off of social media, just get his head down, try to get his form back. But right now, Wenger ain't helping him.
I mean, I was at that. So your boy Ozil supposedly played today. What's happened to him?
I'll tell you what's happened to him, Chris, right? He played really well, and he did play well. He's been playing well this season, yeah? He got his contract, and he's been absolutely useless since he's got it. Yeah, he was playing to get that extra 50, 60, 80 grand a week that he wanted, yeah? And he was playing well. The club then gave him that money, and where's he been? And it's not just one game. We're talking like 4 or 5 games now. Yeah, he was good out in Östersund in Sweden. He was good in that game. Yeah, but they're a pub team, right? Where was he against Tottenham? Where was he against both the Man City games? Yeah, where was he today? Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, I ain't going to sit here and ruin him, but he's the superstar of that football team. He's the biggest paid player in that football team. He should be the one that goes, do you know what? This is Brighton. Yeah, I ain't going to mug myself off today. Yeah, I'm going to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and I'm going to dictate the play. I'm going to dictate how the pace of the game goes. And he was hiding. Let's be real. He was hiding today, mate. Yeah, there was times in that game where he gave the ball away and he just stopped, stood still.
100%.
Yeah, but you can't criticise Mesut Ozil because you get 150 fanboys attacking you as soon as you mention his name. Yeah, well, sorry, he ain't immune from criticism, right?
Exactly.
And he is our highest paid player. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're good enough to warrant 350 grand a week, which is what he's reportedly on, then you're definitely getting criticised if you don't perform. Yeah, I'll leave you alone if it's 1 or 2 games, but when it's like 3, 4, 5 games now, you're taking the mick. Yeah, because in that time you've taken over £1 million in wages. £1 million. Yeah. When how long would it take us for in this room to earn £1 million? He's earned that in 4 weeks. Yeah. And what has he done in that 4 weeks? Yeah. And I'm not going to single him out on his own because I think the whole team have been abysmal, mate. Seriously, like I remember saying when we played Stoke City, the first away game of the season, we lost 1-0. Yeah. Lacazette had a perfectly good goal disallowed, but it is what it is, right? And I said after that game, we will get bantered off left, right, and centre away from home all season. Yeah, because there's no fight, there's no leader in that team. Koscielny's supposedly our leader. Yeah, well, if you believe the reports that are going around, he was breaking down in tears because his kids bully him when we lose. Like, come on, man! This guy's the captain of Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, he's supposed to be our leader. Yeah, mate, there's no matter what happens on the pitch, it all boils and comes back down to Arsene Wenger. It's as simple as that. He's picking these players, like Ola said. Yeah, he's taking the training sessions. He's got a hand in buying the players because ultimately, if you don't want them, they ain't coming here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So everything football related, yeah, comes back to Arsene Wenger. There's no case for him to stay at this football club past today.
Is he taking the training sessions though, or is he overseeing some shit?
Yeah, but
he's still there.
He's still. If he wants something done in a training session, and Steve Bold takes a training session, for example, yeah, he's told Bold what's going on in that training session and what to do. Yeah, it's not like Bold says, "Yeah, I'll do what I want."
Do you see him out there on a day-to-day basis, like really having a hand in it? Like I could see a Jose doing that. I could see a Conte doing that. I could even see a Klopp doing that. I couldn't see a Wenger doing that. I could see him being in the office and maybe popping out every now and again with a cup of tea.
It's all too comfortable. Everything's comfortable, man. It is. Let's be real. Everything is comfortable. You see the scenes on TV when you see people holding up banners. It was like vile abuse being shouted. It was toxic in there. I'm glad I weren't there, mate. Yeah, I'm glad I weren't there. I'm glad I didn't waste the whole day and my money and my time to drive all the way down there to watch that. Because let's be real, we want Arsenal to win. We don't want to be standing in crowds screaming Wenger out and this and that about him, yeah? Right? And at one point, we all idolised the geezer, yeah? But that was 15 years ago. In that time, I've lost so many hair follicles, yeah? And like...
I caught you on TV the other day, fucking swearing your lungs off on the third goal.
I said it straight to me, like, what are you doing this guy?
Big up to my cameraman for finding me at the exact perfect point.
That's crazy, man.
Tom, Petr Cech. Are we witnessing the demise of a once great keeper? Because look, I'm watching this Man City game, right? And I've just seen Courtois make an unbelievable save from, I think it was from Sane or someone like that. And can you see Cech doing something like that now?
I mean, I can see him making saves of good quality because it doesn't matter. The amount of mistakes that he makes is irritating, but he is still a good keeper. And he has shown today in the instances that happened in the game, there was an effort from Murray, I think, and from Gross as well, that he did really well to save. But ultimately, the 2 goals that we conceded, he is at fault for those 2 goals. He's got more mistakes in him than he did 3-4 years ago when he was at Chelsea. He's now got the capacity to make these errors more often. As he gets older, that's just naturally what happens to football. But he tweeted out after the game, and he said, if you want to win a game away from home in the best league in the world, your goalkeeper can't concede 2 goals like he did today. It's simply not possible. The team fought back, but the damage was done. I mean, the fact he's taken responsibility for that, yeah, that's great. There is still now an element of deflection away from the poor performance of the rest of the team as well today, but fair play to him for taking responsibility. However, we need to be ruthless. You need to be ruthless in the Premier League. Chelsea were ruthless in the way that they got rid of Petr Cech. They brought in Courtois. They brought in Courtois from Genk, I believe it was. They sent him out on loan to Atletico Madrid for 3 years. He did fantastically well, hence why he's now getting linked with Real Madrid and said that I think his family's still in Madrid and stuff like that. They were ruthless with it. They kept the Belgian in goal, and he's done fantastically since then. And he's only gone from strength to strength. For Arsenal, we don't have that ruthlessness anywhere across the board. You've seen Xhaka, I've mentioned already, play continuously poorly and yet keep his place when we've got El Neni sitting on the bench, who I think could be doing a better job than what Xhaka is right now, certainly in terms of the maintaining of possession. You've got players like Iwobi who continuously underperform and keep their place continuously and aren't given the opportunity to be taken out of the fire. And Bellerin was the first example this season I can think of where he's actually taken someone who deserves to be taken out of the 11 and put them on the bench. But ultimately, tactically, it was a nightmare because you've put now Callum Chambers, who has half the pace of Hector Bellerin, up against a Colombian rapid 100-metre sprinter who's absolutely ruined him every single time he's run down that wing. So, yes, in a ruthless sense, it was the right decision to make. But tactically speaking, it was an absolute nightmare because you've now taken off your pacey right back to play against this amazingly fast guy playing left wing for Brighton. So you've got to find that balance, and Wenger just doesn't seem to have it anywhere.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. Really. Ola, Iwobi, what do you think is next for this kid? Because you and I are probably the only 2 people on earth that still see something in this kid.
You got to back the Nigerian brother.
I was gonna ask you, like, you got a few Albanian friends. What does Xhaka mean in Albania? Maybe
Granite Xhaka in Albanian means pass backwards.
maybe your Albanian friends might be able to give us an answer to that one in the next show. And I'll be tuning in for that one. Yeah. To answer your question, I mean, the only thing that can save Iwobi right now is by Wenger leaving, and everybody. I watched your video, Lee. Your preview, and everybody killed off Sanchez for wanting to leave this club and Oxlade. But in hindsight, when we all look back at it and look at what this guy really wanted, was a development in their career. They just wanted they didn't want their career to get stunted again. They want some kind of development. They want a manager that's going to demand 100% from them, 110% from them. A team that wants to win every time. Like I said, hindsight is a wonderful thing. And, we now have, and we're stuck with these players right now in this regime under Wenger, where everything is comfortable. There's no accountability. We've got a small club mentality right now. The badge weighs too heavy for the players right now. It's not just Iwobi. I mean, it's everyone, including our new players, the new guys that we've just got in. People saying, "Oh, the biggest mistake we made was letting Szczesny go to Juventus." I'm sorry, but that's probably the best thing that happened to fucking Szczesny, because if it come back, we still ain't got a proper goalkeeping coach. Look what's happened to Czech, So Szczesny will probably go right back to what he used to be before he left the club. So, and that would mean every single work that he's done while he's been on loan in Syria would have been undone. So, for me, I think Iwobi needs a loan. It needs to get out of the club. It needs a club where a manager that's gonna apply some discipline, same as they'll get with the Nigerian coach. That wouldn't take no nonsense from him. But right now, he's at a club where everything goes. There's no accountability. He doesn't have to worry about his shirt. This guy will get in next week. And when they lose against Milan,
I'd love to see him. Sorry to interrupt. I'd love to see him go to somewhere like Burnley. You know, just somewhere that
a place like that
is completely different about his game. Somewhere where he'd be able to track back, work hard, learn something different about his game, and really see if he has it. I know Lee's laughing like, motherfucker, this guy is not.
People say that's about his level and all that, yeah. And you might be right in thinking so, based on the performances that we've seen lately, you know. But we know this kid has got something because I watch him regularly on international level. The same thing goes for every single player that plays internationally for us. El Nene, different player when he goes to play for Egypt. Him and Mo Salah, they're doing mad things out there in Egypt.
Ramsey, we've said that for years about Ramsey.
Yeah. Ramsey, the same thing. Also, when he plays under Joachim Low, different attitude. It's just the attitude. Once that attitude and the mentality is changed, all it needs is a different mindset, different voice, different direction, different demands. It's just, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. And as Lee said earlier on, 100% correct. Everything falls back on Wenger's doorstep. You gotta lay it right on his doorstep. He's the one that's co-signing the bullshit performances that we're seeing from these players. And if you're at a job where you make mistake after mistake after mistake and nobody's saying nothing to you, you ain't gonna be bothered. You just make the same mistakes every time because nobody's bollocking you for making the same mistake every time. So, you know, these players, once we go a goal down, it's like they run out of ideas, like KFC run out of chicken. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. They just run out of ideas. It's like, so what do we do now? What kind of shit is that? You lot are professional fucking players. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, man. And the earlier this fucker goes, man. I mean, they keep saying it's like an old Labrador that needs putting down, that nobody wants to take. It's not a fucking Labrador no more. Not in my fucking eyes. It's a fucking mongrel. It's a fucking mongrel. He ain't no fucking Labrador. It's a fucking mongrel, man. Get the fuck out of the club. Move the fuck on.
What is it with you and dogs? Why don't you like dogs? What is it with you and dogs?
Yeah, don't start me off with dogs, man. Don't fucking start me off with dogs, man. I fucking murder them motherfuckers.
Okay. We've tried to kind of avoid the matter, but Ola's touched on it and I was going to bring it up anyway. Tom, how likely is it Wenger will finally go tonight?
You got 0% chance, mate. I mean, in a perfect world, in a logical world, he goes tonight. But we have, as Arseblog brilliantly tweeted out a second ago, a spineless board who will not make the hard decision to sack the manager. In their eyes, he's done enough to earn his right to choose when he leaves. He's earned his tenure, which is a farcical and ridiculous thing to think about in football. Football is a game which is continuously evolving and continuously adapting, and clubs need to change based upon the current situation that they're in. And we haven't done that for the last 13 years. If we had have changed then, we might have been able to compete with the likes of Bayern Munich or Barcelona. We might have been able to actually use our funds more strategically and more efficiently than what we have done. There might not have been this just continued resignation that we're not good enough for the top flight in terms of like the top two teams in the league. There's teams like Brighton today who turned around and thought, no, we're not going to be bullied by Arsenal. Arsenal are a bigger team than us, sure, but we're going to go out today and give 110%. If we did that every single time we went and played and showed respect to the opposition like we should do, then we'd be much, much better off. And that comes down to the mentality that the manager puts into the team each week. It puts down to the lack of invention. I mean, Gunnerblog tweeted out saying about how, and he spoke about this on the last Arsecast actually, about how when Xhaka arrived at Arsenal, he was so surprised in the lack of direction he was given that it was a completely new revelation to him, that he was basically the onus was put on him to organise himself, to develop himself, and the tactics and the coaching. The loyalty doesn't, trust me, what we see in terms of the loyalty to see the players on the pitch and see how Xhaka maintains his starting place and Bellerin and Iwobi, the loyalty goes beyond that into the players almost literally coaching themselves. They're not given the direction that they need to be given on the training pitch, which is madness when you think about it, how a football team can not even coach their own players. So I mean, no, he's not going to be sacked tonight. He's going to be here until the end of the season at a minimum, in my opinion, however much I would like him to be gone, so you can then allow a new manager to come in, get a feel for the club straight away, be able to see which players are actually going to bother and fight for their place towards the end of the season. If the ones that aren't going to fight, you can ship them on in the summer, and that manager can bring in his own type of players to replace them. If he does bring in if someone does come in, then fantastic. You've got that chance, the 25-man squad, to prove themselves to that new manager and say, I deserve to stay at this club. I deserve to be on the money that I'm on, and play for their place next season. But the league's gone. So we may as well go for it. I cannot even see us beating AC Milan right now. They're under Gattuso. You've seen an Italian guy come in who used to play for the club, who's got that connection with them, and he's turned their fortunes around. It was a little bit of a stuttery start, but they've gone off. They beat Roma away last weekend, 2-0 comfortably. And so you're seeing an AC Milan side under Gattuso who are probably going to do a number on us at the San Siro midweek.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Breathe, guys, breathe.
I can't believe I'm actually looking for some sort of positivity here.
There is one positive, Chris. There is one positive. It's one day closer to Wenger's contract expiring.
There is that.
Let me ask you this question, Lee, honestly, right? It's probably a stupid question to ask you, I accept. So I've just heard you ask Tom, is there any chance that the board will do the right thing and end Wenger's tenure tonight? What about Wenger himself? You heard me mention to Tom about the fact that, you know, it is a human quality to look at these players and realize you're not getting any reaction from them. No matter what you say, no matter what you said behind closed doors, no matter how upset you're getting with them, they're not reacting. Is there any fucking hope that this old man will sleep on it and think, you know what, maybe I don't go tonight, but I at least come out with some sort of announcement to say at the end of the season, I'll go? Is there any chance of that?
Not happening. Not happening. Why would he? He's getting paid 10 million quid a year, which is what, £200,000 a week.
What do you think is more likely, him going or him being sacked?
I'd say him being sacked is more likely, but I don't think they'll class it as being sacked. I think they'll call it mutual consent, and they'll just give him a little golden handshake and say, there's the remainder of your contract, see you later. They'll build him a statue outside, probably name one of the stands after him. And
he shouldn't even get a fucking paper mache about fucking statue. The fucking statue. This guy has had 3 chances to get a statue. 3 different chances to get a statue. And he stuck his middle finger to it. So fuck him and his statue. He can fuck off.
The thing is, Ola, how you're saying that now, is how I was last season, right? But once he signed that new deal, and let's be right, he didn't ask for the new deal. Yeah, they gave him the new deal on an improved contract in terms of money. Yeah, so a little bit like Iwobi doesn't ask to play and doesn't say I'm going to get dropped. It's a similar thing but higher up. They offered him a new contract. Why would he reject that? Yeah, he's never going to reject that, right? It takes somebody above him, a board member, CEO, owner's son, whoever it may be, just needs to look at what happened there today, look at what's happened all season away from home, look at where we are in the league, look at how we got embarrassed at Nottingham Forest, yeah, and look at the performances of the players all season. They look disinterested. They don't look like they care. The only one who looks like he cares is Jack, but Jack's more focused on looking like he cares rather than actually playing well. Yeah? If that makes sense. He was shocking today. Yeah, but he looks like he cares, so everyone gives him a pass. Well, sorry, I am giving you a pass. just because you look like you care. How about try looking like you're going to do something? Yeah,
I completely agree.
And he spends way too much time looking like he cares, so we all give him a pass. And he's very clever in what he's doing, yeah? And it masks over his shit performances. But for me, somebody needs to go, Arsene, it's time, it's done. Maybe that could be David Dean. David Dean's mates with him. David Dean brought him to the club. You know, when Peter Hillwood's coming out with a statement he came out with about his outstayed his welcome, mate, that must be like a dagger to his heart. Yeah. So
well, that's the thing. I tweeted that earlier this week that normally when situations like this happen and Wenger's under extreme pressure, suddenly David Dean will pop out from nowhere and talk about how he's still the right man for the job. His silence to me has been really definite lately.
Yeah. Nobody's backed him. And let's be right, Chris. Right, he has outstayed his welcome. Yeah, and Oliver's right. He had 3 opportunities to leave, right? He could have left after Hull City Cup final, Aston Villa Cup final, or the Chelsea Cup final, right? Yeah. But I think in his head, after winning them 3 cup finals, he's thought, I've still got it. I've still got it. Right? Which is why he then signed that new contract. And he's like, to me, when he comes out with stuff like, when he's talking to the 4th official, why didn't you add an extra couple of minutes on in the cup final? Mate, we're 3-0 down. What is another couple of minutes going to do? We ain't scored 1, let alone 3.
It's just pure delusion, man.
Yeah, when he's coming out with, that was our best performance of the season physically. Mate, seriously, I know this is going to sound nasty, but he needs to like be sectioned or something, right? Because, there's something not right up here. Yeah, and that sounds nasty, I know, and I don't mean to put it across like that, but he ain't right in the head. Yeah, and it's quite sad when you actually look at it that he's just, you just look at him now and I just fucking hate him. I hate him. I don't hate many people. I fucking hate him. Yeah. And it's quite sad to see that because 15 years ago, I thought he was the best man on the planet. Yeah. And, you know, until somebody actually grows a set on the board, yeah, or the owner, then we're doomed with this, mate, because he ain't walking away. Yeah. And we will get worse. AC Milan, yeah, have shown that you can put a manager in charge with the same set of players. Yeah. Put a legend of the club back in there as manager, yeah, and the same set of players. I don't think they've lost a game since he's took over. Zinedine Zidane is another one. Put a club legend into the club. He's won back-to-back Champions Leagues.
I mean, even Craig Shakespeare did a fucking good job there. I mean?
Listen, let's be right, yeah. If you look at, I said it in my preview. Brighton are a good team. Yeah, let's be real. They can defend well. And with Izquierdo on the left wing, they have got a genuine outlet of pure pace. That geezer ruined Chambers today, yeah? But let's be real. They could have won 5 or 6. Yeah, quite comfortably. And, you know, they looked at us and they just thought, yeah, we're going for them today. And if Brighton are doing that, this is Brighton that were in the Championship last season, yeah? If they're doing that, then, you know, AC Milan are going to tear us a new one. And when does it end? Does he get potted after AC Milan? Does he not? Does he stay till the end of the season? It's like, this ain't in our hands. And I've supported this club a long time, right? And I've seen life before Arsene Wenger. Yeah? I remember George Graham. George Graham never got this much flack. Yeah? Never got this much flack. But he got potted because he took a backhander. Yeah? And now, anyone who backs Wenger, like properly still backs him now, will quote George Graham off left, right and centre. Well, I'm sorry, Arsene Wenger's damaged this football club a lot more than George Graham has. Yeah, so for me, Arsene Wenger shouldn't be getting a statue, shouldn't be getting his dignity intact. Yeah, get rid, man. Get rid. He had that ship sailed 10 years ago with his dignity. He could have walked away in invincible and happy days. Instead, he chose to stay. Yeah, and you gave him a pass for the first 5 years at the Emirates, but now he is taking the wholesale piss. Yeah, and you know the players he's buying over the odds. Granit Xhaka ain't 35 mil. Mustafi ain't 32 mil. Yeah? And then the only one player who looked like he actually wanted it at this football club, he gave to Man United. Yeah? And everyone was tweeting out and saying, oh, yeah, well, now the dressing room's united. You know, we've gone out and spanked Crystal Palace as soon as we got rid of him. Yeah, then we've done Everton. Everyone's going, oh, look, the Sanchez ain't here. Yeah? Yeah, now we've just got a whole dressing room full of fucking losers that are all happy losing. Because the one winner is now playing for Man United. So it's all too comfortable, man. It's just like, it's embarrassing. It's sad, man. It's sad to see the club going through this. But, you know, I have to laugh because otherwise I will go on a mad one and just start cussing everyone. And I can't be arsed, man. That's why I just sit here laughing. When that second goal went, I just started pissing myself laughing. It was just like, it was just like, did anyone think we were ever coming back either? When we got the goal back, did anyone seriously think we were going to come back? Because I didn't. And that's how it was.
To be fair.
That's the thing. I mean, let me ask Tom this because you two have already touched on it, and I might risk upsetting
shut up, you two.
Right, we'll kick you off the pod and send you back to Greener Talk, all right?
Right. So let me ask you this, right, Tom? I made a point in my last review of saying that time may heal a lot of these wounds that we're currently experiencing. Now, you just heard Lee and Ola express the absolute hatred for this man. And I said, to me, beyond all the invincible stuff, beyond everything else, the most heroic thing that Wenger could do right now that would overshadow those achievements is by just saying, you know what, I've taken this team as far as I can go. Let someone else have a go. And that, for me, is the most heroic thing you can do right now. And a lot of people, and my point was that I felt as though that time, eventually, whether it's 10, 15 years' time, people will forget all this Wenger out shit. What they'll remember is a manager who once upon a time achieved something great. Do you think that if Wenger was able to find some strength in him to say, you know what, I've had enough, I'm going to walk away, do you think that would be possible?
I think it's certainly possible to say that a manager can walk away. It's just talking about realms of possibility changes when you talk about Wenger because he's such a unique manager and it's such a unique situation that's just it just can't be it can't be equivalent. It can't be equivalent anywhere else in the Premier League, not since Sir Alex Ferguson. And I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson's the closest thing we can talk about to Arsene Wenger, and he's the one who turned around and said, "Yeah, I know." He's the one who turned around and was like, "That's it, I'm done. Like, I've won the league. I'm finished. Like, I wouldn't be able to do any more. I hang up my coat of Manchester United." Wenger didn't do that after the FA Cup final, and if he's not going to do it after the FA Cup final, I still cannot see him doing what Ferguson has done, not even after a moment of pure demise that we're going through right now. I cannot see him of just hanging his coat up at Arsenal until something turns around. Maybe at the end of the season, if he really sees that we cannot, if he wins the Europa League, I think he's desperate now to win the Europa League and for something to finish on that's a positive. Because the league is, in terms of trying to get top four, is a joke in how far behind the top four we are. It's a joke how far behind Spurs we are. The fact it is a real shame. I think that you made a great point in terms of time is the biggest healer, because in 10, 15 years, I think, to be honest, as soon as Wenger goes, there'll be such a huge weight off Arsenal fans' shoulders and such a huge relief that I think the hatred will dissipate almost instantaneously for a lot of people, because he will have finally gone. He will have finally moved on, and we'll be able to bring someone else in, and we can then start to appreciate the good things that did happen under Wenger's reign. I don't hate the guy. I know a lot of people do, and I completely understand why they do, and I don't get all uppity about saying you can't hate a man who's won us this, because I can understand why people hate the guy, because at the moment, the thing that he has control of what everyone who's a fan of this club loves, and we love Arsenal Football Club, and he's got control of it, and he's misusing it right now. And if someone misuses the thing that you love, you naturally have a hatred towards that person. So I completely understand why people are hating on the guy. I can't hate him because of what he has done at the club, and I still respect the fact that he took us through a really tough period after 2006, and Lee will tell you that I backed Arsene Wenger, and I was one of those stereotypical Wenger in guys up until about 4 years ago.
Me too.
But
Me too.
but I am a bloke with common sense. I do know when it goes too far, and it has gone too far. But I think yes, time is a great healer. But I think in this case, it will be. I think, and I mean, I can't speak for Lee, and I'd be interested for Lee and Olive both to have their opinions on it. To say that after Wenger goes, would the hatred go with it? Because you can then start to appreciate what he has done, and now he has finally moved on. We can now sit back and say, great, we can now focus on the now and focus on a new manager. Or has it now got to the stage where Arsene Wenger has done so many detrimental things to this club by remaining that you're never going to lose that hatred for the guy?
That's a good question.
That's a great question, Tom, to be fair. That's a
Either one.
quality question.
I mean, for me, time is a healing. You know, time does heal a lot of hatred and bad feelings towards somebody that you feel hasn't done right by something you love as much as the club. And you know, maybe in time, you know, all these negative feeling that I have towards the bloke. And you know, I have to say this, a lot of it is brought on himself, to be fair. But you know, in time, is somebody that you could learn to love again from a distance. And you know, that would be down to his contribution towards the club when he's gone, in you know, in terms of doing charity work for the club, being an ambassador for the club, and all the other off the pitch stuff that, you know, you'd expect a guy that spent so much time at the club to do. But you know, right now, the longer every day that passes, that he keeps coming out in press conferences, feeling entitled, you know, questioning reporters about how dare they, you know, question his future at the club. For me, that's just arrogance, pure arrogance. And that's why I feel a lot of it is self-inflicted by Wenger. But you know, like I said, if I don't see him every week anymore in press conferences chatting bare madness anymore, then yeah, I might start, you know, feeling, you know, a certain way, in a positive way about him again. But right now, no, he's just too hard. It's too hard to take. It's difficult. It's difficult to like Wenger at this moment in time. Too difficult.
Go on, Lee.
Sorry. To be honest with you, Tom, I said this to a mate of mine the other day, yeah, right, that if he went now, right, and to me, now or the end of the season is irrelevant. It doesn't matter whether it's now or the end of the season. What difference is it going to make? We're not going to win the Europa League. Let's have that right, yeah? We ain't going to win it, right? So might as well get rid now. For me, if they said that, or even announced that he was going at the end of the season, all that hatred I've got, yeah, I'd still stand there and that Huddersfield away, or the last home game we have, I can't remember who the last home game we've got is. I think it might be Burnley, I'm not sure. But
I'm not looking forward, mate. Yeah. Actually, I'm really not.
But I'd stand there and give him a little clap and all that, and like I wouldn't be standing there joining in celebrations.
Oh wow! I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah. No. Listen, I can't stand the bloke, mate. I literally fucking hate him. Yeah, because of what he's done. Right? I don't care that he won a title unbeaten. Yeah, I don't care that he's won more FA Cups than any manager. Yeah, I don't care that he's won a double here and there. I don't care. That was 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, right? What he has done to this club in the X amount of years since we moved to the Emirates is a joke, right? And for that, and staying and creaming over £100 million in wages, whilst telling everyone we can't compete when he was competing on his wages, yeah, it's a joke. And I can't ever forgive him for that. But I'd say that when he does finally go, then yeah, the hatred won't completely disappear, but I won't be going out of my way to be overjoyed and like if he's on TV and all, I won't be sitting there going, oh yeah, look, what a great man, he was a legend of the club. I won't be saying that, that's for sure. Yeah, because I think that he's done more harm than good over the last 20 years. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, it's great we've won titles, and yeah, I think it's great that we went unbeaten. right? And I don't think that'll ever be done again in this country. Man City have proved that this season. They were the team that you thought, yeah, they were going to do it, and they haven't done it. So, yeah, he has given me some great moments over the years, but the bad moments are outweighing the good. So, yeah, I hate him. I'll give him a clap at the end of the last home game or whatever, or the last away game, if it's his last game or whenever it is. Yeah, I'll give him a little clap. I ain't staying there joining in celebrations of Lord Arsene Wenger, because that ain't happening. So I suppose the short answer to that is, yeah, I probably will still hate him. Yeah, I will.
All right.
Listen, it is what it is. I just think that he has done so much more damage to this football club, and we are 5 to 7 years behind repairing that damage of catching anyone up. So what he has done is the next manager that comes into this football club, very similar to what David Moyes was like at Man United. Fergie knew what he was doing. Yeah, but Fergie was smart enough to give up and say, I'm leaving, right? But to pick your successor, never going to work. And he knew what he was doing. He knew by putting Moyes in there that guy weren't going to ever outdo anything he ever done. Yeah. And now I think that what will happen is when Wenger does leave, all the people that have been Wenger out will now be new manager in forever. Yeah. And they will back him after embarrassing losses, because we're still going to get embarrassing losses, right? And all the Wenger ins and the Wenger lovers, soon as we have an embarrassing loss, the Wenger outs were to blame for this. And it's just going to completely flip. So you're never going to have a happy fan base, because it's gone too far for that. You know, there's people that literally hate me, yeah, because of some of the stuff I've tweeted, yeah, and some of the stuff I've said about their illustrious leader, right? So when it's flipped, they're going to be saying the same thing, and it's going to be so ironic to see everyone that was Wenger in now be new manager out after a loss. Yeah, it's going to be hilarious, and the banter continues, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I just hope that the club do come to the decision that he's gone, maybe announce that he's gone, whether it be now, whether it be the end of the season, but they've got to come out with something and say he is going on X, Y, or Z day. Yeah, maybe not announce the new manager, because obviously you've got a couple of months to find that new manager. But I just hope that they go and find a manager that's not weak and not an Eddie Howe, is what I'm trying to say. Because Eddie Howe is a good football manager. Yeah, he is a good football manager, but this job's too big for him. Yeah, and the repair job we've got at this football club needs an established, top-drawer, elite football manager to come in. Yeah, none of this Thierry Henry, none of this Vieira, none of this Bergkamp or Overmars, none of them. I don't want an ex-player as the manager. Yeah, because I don't want to hate Thierry Henry. Yeah, I don't want to. I love the guy. Yeah, I don't want to hate Patrick Vieira. I think that we need to go and get somebody who's proven. Ancelotti, for me, is ideal. Somebody like Simeone, Allegri, a top-drawer, elite football manager, and then get one of them legends of the club as number 2. And then in 2 or 3 years' time, 4 years, whatever it may be, say, right, take the reins, Thierry, or take the reins, Patrick. Yeah, and it gets passed down to him 3-4 years down the road. Giving Thierry Henry a job now when he's only been a number 2, asking for trouble, mate.
Silly. It's just silly. It's just silly. Tom, I'm aware you've got to go shortly, but I'm going to touch on the boys shortly about, potential people who can take over. I want to get your kind of just very quick thoughts about who you would like to take over before I let you off.
Yeah, that's no problem. There's a lot of people, in fairness, that I would be happy with. I slightly lean on the side of agreeing with Lee, however painful it might be.
Come on, Tom. We all know that you idolise me and all that.
Oh, of course. Getting a former player in it is extremely risky. However, I still look at AC Milan as an example and seeing how well Gattuso's doing. I know it's only been very brief, but the impact has been extremely impactful. So it'll be interesting to see if that was the route that the club decided to take. Arteta's not one of them that I would have been happy with, certainly, but Henry's an interesting thing. He's been doing good things at Belgium under Roberto Martinez, so that would be an interesting one. In terms of proper managers, there's a few that I'm interested in. Julian Nagelsmann at Hoffenheim, the young German coach, is certainly someone who's tweaking a lot of people's interests, and he's doing fantastically well there. So it'd be interesting to see. Who? Sorry.
What about the Napoli manager?
Oh, Sarri, yes. Sarri at Napoli's an extremely interesting one. Napoli are desperate to try and tie the guy down to a new contract, and you can see why. Guardiola's gone on about how much respect he has for Sarri and how fantastic he is as a coach. So I would certainly be behind that. I don't know what his English is like, but I'd be interested to see if that was to happen. Obviously, Ancelotti's the big, well-known guy that's available and without a club at the moment. I think he would definitely steady the ship for a couple of years, but would ultimately probably need moving on in a few years' time. So it depends the route you want to take, whether you want to take on someone who could be around the club to make their own dynasty, which I'm not particularly in favour of, not in this footballing climate. I don't think it's the modern thing anymore. I think it is a case where you get someone and you see how long it works for, and when it stops working, you're ruthless with it and you move on. But we know what our board are like. Or do you go down the route of, as I said, the opposite of picking someone like Ancelotti and then bringing them in for a few years and then moving them on, get someone else in? Someone I will put up before I shoot off is I do not want Thomas Tuchel at Arsenal. No,
me too.
I do not want Thomas.
We know
Tuchel.
about that, Tom.
Yeah, I do not want him. He failed ultimately at Dortmund. He came in, tried to emulate what Klopp did. It didn't work, and Drew will tell you as much as I will. Friend of the Goon, sort of that. Just no. Although at the moment I'd take absolutely anyone. I mean, Lee, for all I care, could manage it.
I'd do a better job, mate. That's for sure. Put it this way, Tom. Right? We wouldn't have Granit Xhaka and Iwobi in the starting 11 or Mustafi.
You hide.
Yeah. Well, we're for me, right? And I'm just going to say this, right, very quickly, because I know you want to wrap the show up, Chris. Right? Why is our club captain not getting games? Why does he not get a game? Well, are we a retirement home for ex decent footballers? Yeah, because we gave him a 1-year contract. How many games has he played? How many games has he played since he signed that 1-year contract? Here you go, have another year on 50 grand a week or whatever it is. Yeah, so let's say he's on 50 bags a week. Yeah, that's £2.5 million a year. Here you go, here's £2.5 million to retire. He's the biggest cheerleader. Yeah, out there, his tweets are embarrassing. Yeah, whether it's him or his agent tweeting him, who knows, right? But why are we paying this guy? And for me, it's a shame because I think he'd actually do a better job than Koscielny and Mustafi right now. Yeah, although he ain't got no pace, he's never had pace, but the way he reads the game is a lot better than either of them two donkeys. So, yeah, I think we should maybe start him against AC Milan.
Okay. Lee and Ola, stay right there. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. But Tom, I know you got to pop off. But everybody who's watching,
Tom out.
I know there's well over 400 listen to us live. Thank you so much for listening to us live. Yeah, man, wow. And you should all go. You should all go and immediately go and watch Laguna Talk. I think it was the second YouTube football channel I started watching. And I love the show. With all the guests, the different opinions. These two on there also go on there from time to time.
What I have to.
I don't get an invite anymore.
Shut up.
Go subscribe on there. Tom, let the people know where they can find you and just a little bit more about the show.
Yeah, sure. So the Gooner Talk, you can find it at the Gooner Talk TV. It's a show which obviously Craig, I always give him a massive shout out whenever I mention the show or go anyone else's show to talk about it. Who started it? He's got a podcast now called Same Old Arsenal with Lee Judges. Great guy, go check that out. But yeah, Gooner Talk it's very similar to this. So if you've enjoyed this, which I really have, Chris, I think it's a fantastic show what you're doing. So good stuff there, mate. Good stuff. So yeah, we've got a show tonight at 9:00 with some of the boys, Kenny Ken, Drew, and a guy coming on who's making his debut. So it could be interesting. That was intentional. So so come check that out 9:00 tonight. But yes, enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you so much, Chris, for letting me on. I appreciate it very much. It's a shame that I had to come on with Lee. But you can take what you can get. So
I love you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I noticed you didn't get an invite either, Ola. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I've been serving my band since I put that Lacazette fucking.
oh yes, that picture killed it off. Yeah.
I saw the free pod band, and came back on, and yeah, I've been back on a few more times since, but the invites are far few in between now. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. God damn.
Anyway, the reason I wanted to keep you two both on is you guys are so adamant about Wenger leaving, as am I these days, but I really wanted to get an idea, particularly from you, Ola, because I've not really heard about what manager you want to replace Wenger. So what sort of manager do you think you would want? Because I know Lee is adamant he wants Carlo Ancelotti, but what about yourself?
I mean, I like Lee's suggestion, Mr. Blobby. It seems like a good one. It seems like no. On a more serious note, you know, for me, if Conte was to become available tomorrow, I will snatch that motherfucker away from Chelsea, and I tell you why. He's somebody that doesn't take no nonsense. He will out the board. He's a top level manager. If the board ain't coming correct or not backing him, this is part of Wenger's problem. He's protected the board for so many years now.
Yes.
And that's a major part of his problem. He's protected the board. Someone like Benitez or someone like Conte, that we know the tacticians with better backing and all that, and they won't mind to out the board if the board are fucking about, if they're not coming correct with what they need to make the team progress, then they will out them. And that's the type of manager that I think we need. We don't need another yes man, because a couple of these guys knows how to say yes. You know, Ancelotti included in that bracket, because he's worked on that role, and he's a yes man. Yeah, and he will be a yes man to Kroenke. Yes, it will be a different direction right now, but later on, maybe second year, third year going in, they could start fucking him about, bending him over, and he wouldn't say a thing about it. But we need a manager at the club that wouldn't take the board's bullshit, that will out the board when the board doesn't back him. And that's the sort of manager that I want at the club.
Okay. Mr. Gunner.
See, I think, Ola, right, very, very quickly, right, Ancelotti, I've got a lot of Chelsea mates, yeah? In fact, 90% of my mates are Chelsea, right? So they've had the like lording it over me.
Yeah.
Man City have just gone 1-0 up. Bernardo Silva, 30 seconds.
Fantastic player, man. Great
Shit
player.
defending from Chelsea. But yeah,
To be honest,
I've got a lot of Chelsea mates, yeah?
They've held out.
The Chelsea mates I've got say to me that Ancelotti's a good manager, but defensively he's no better than Wenger, right? And like they conceded, like there was a guy on Twitter, I can't remember his at, Big Man Kante or something his at is, yeah, right? And you know him, Chris. He tweets you as well, yeah, right? But
no, he doesn't. He loves you, though.
Yeah, who doesn't love me, man?
He's probably watching this because you're on. I just want you to know that.
Do you know what it is, right? He is the Chelsea equivalent of me for Arsenal. Yeah, he just says it how it is. He speaks his mind and speaks the truth, and he's not biased, which is why I get on with him, right? But he said to me, he goes, Ancelotti with, I can't remember who the back line was, but he named the back line, and that was like a top drawer back line, conceded 50 goals. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in the time that Ancelotti was the manager, yeah? And I was like, wow, that's quite bad. But you got to look at it and go, well, they won a double. Yeah. And then he got sacked after winning a double. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. No, I think, what about Conte? Personally, I think Ancelotti's going to end up back at Chelsea. Yeah. He lives in West London. He ain't got Conte's under pressure. And I think Conte's going to go at the end of the season. Go and get Conte.
Go and get Conte. I agree with that logic.
Go and get Conte. Go and get Ancelotti. Go and get Allegri. Go and get, for me, Simeone. Can you imagine Simeone walking into that dressing room? Yeah, gripping that Mesut Ozil. yeah, by the throat, like picking him up with one hand by the throat, yeah, and just ramming him against the wall, going, "You little fuck, are on 350 grand a week." Yeah, mate, Ozil has shit himself, and Bellerin, Xhaka, mate, it'd be great. I'd love Simeone, but that's never good. Why would he leave there, man? They're better than us. Why would he leave? Do you know what I mean? Why would Allegri leave where he's at? They're better than us.
His contract comes to an end in the summer, and he's been wanting a new challenge. He's been very vocal.
Who, Simeone? No, he signed a new one.
Yeah, since last season. Yeah,
no, he signed a new one. Yeah, he signed a new one, I think.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he dropped his contract down from 3 years to 1 year, didn't he? He dropped it down, mutual agreement. But I think he signed a new one about 3 months ago.
We know one thing though,
Trust me.
that contracts are there to be bought out. If the club is really serious in taking a new direction, surely some of these fantastic managers that are out there can be bought out of their contracts. You know.
Well, yeah. That's the thing. Like, a contract ain't worth the paper it's written on. Let's be real. Yeah, every man has a price. Neymar proved that. Yeah, pay 200 million quid, you can have him. Okay, we'll pay it. Yeah, you know, everyone has a price. So for me, I'll be straight up. My first choice is Ancelotti, and I've wanted Ancelotti before he went to Bayern Munich, right? And people say, "Oh, he failed at Bayern. He failed there." Fuck off! Did he fail? Yeah, he won fucking title after title. So yes, he didn't win the big one. Yeah, but he didn't fail, did he? Let's be real. Yeah,
but that's the thing. It's funny when people say that because, sorry, is him failing getting to the semi-finals of the Champions League?
It's him failing winning the league title. Because if he's failing, Arsene Wenger's fucking done then, isn't he? Let's be real. Yeah? And it makes me laugh. Right? That when you put a name forward, a lover of Wenger will come back here and just totally destroy it. And go, no, he ain't done this or he ain't done that. And he ain't done it. Fuck off, man. Wenger ain't done nothing for 15 years. Yeah, 14 years, whatever it is, yeah? Right? The only reason people still hang on to this guy is because 99% of the people who back him were born, yeah, or only know Wenger. Where they were born in the Wenger era or they only know Wenger. Yeah? Ty's may be the exception to that because Ty's in his 40s or whatever, yeah? Right, and he just backs anything Arsenal. Like, you know, you could put Mr. Bean in charge, yeah, and they'd back Mr. Bean to win the Champions League because that's how he is, yeah, right. But most of the people who back Wenger and say you can't be disrespectful, maybe mid-20s, yeah, because they've only ever known him. It's like a father figure, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and most of the ones that, you know, and most of the ones that get abusive just can't handle the fact that a lot of the older lot, like 30 plus. Have seen life before him and know what a proper football manager is. George Graham was a proper football manager. Arsene Wenger would never have masterminded beating Liverpool at Anfield 2-0 in 1989. Let's have that right. Yeah? No way. My man couldn't even win a fucking Champions League with the best squad we've ever had. Yeah?
Bruv, he can't even beat Brighton when he needs to. How the fuck would he have beaten Liverpool in that situation? Never.
Exactly.
Never.
And when you watch that Anfield 89 documentary, that film that they made, yeah, when you watch it, yeah, every single Arsenal fan would have felt this, right? When you're watching it, yeah, all the hairs start standing up on your body when Michael Thomas is going through, innit, yeah? Right, and you're just like, right, and you know he's scored the goal because it was 30 years ago, whatever, yeah? Right? But you, like, just watching it, and like when you hear the players saying, like George Graham was saying, do this and do that, and we're looking at him like, are you fucking mad? Yeah. But like, and he's going, yeah, and like we're gone in at half time, 0-0, and he's going, yep, great performance, lads, like blah blah blah. And they're looking, thinking, we need 2 goals. Like, yeah, but he knew what was. Do you know what I mean? It was just like he knew, man. He was a fucking brilliant manager, and in my opinion, he's our best ever manager.
I will say this. Just to defend you a little bit, because there's a lot of people in the chat who are saying, wait a minute, I'm 18 and I want this motherfucker out. Not all of them. Generally, I will say this. What Lee is saying is correct. Not, but there are a lot of people, especially when you actually go to games. Like, believe it or not, I go to the occasional game and I have seen it in person. Like, you get a lot of people that are, like, I was running my mouth about Wenger when I went to the Norwich game, right? And all you kept seeing were these people, young people around me saying, "Oh, leave Wenger alone. He's trying. It's these players that are letting him down."
Yeah, it's always the players. listen, Chris, there's one way to dispel that myth straight away, right? You can't keep blaming different sets of players over 14 years for the same fuck up.
That's what I'm saying.
Simple as. How many of them
Absolutely.
players have been there for 14 years? None of them. So you can't blame different sets of players for the same piss poor shit that happens year in, year out. Yeah? Somebody put a tweet out the other day, I can't remember his at, yeah? Right? But he put every single embarrassing result we have had, yeah, for the last 10 years. Yeah? Like, and you go through the list and it's like, raw. Like Leighton Orient 1-1. Yeah?
It's crazy.
Like Bradford. Yeah? And it's like, you know, Chelsea 6-0, Wenger's 1000th game. You know? No other team of our size in world football, yeah, or even teams of lesser size could probably have that many embarrassing results. Moses is in here. Oh, wow. What has he just done with that? But no team in world football.
He tried to kill the City fan with that.
Even if you look at somebody like Wigan, for example, yeah, I'd say in the last 10 years, Wigan have had less embarrassing results than we've had. Do you know what I mean?
No shit.
They won a cup final against fucking Man City.
Thinking about that, true.
Yeah, they beat Man City the other day. The best ever Man City team, the best team ever to grace the country. Yeah, fucking beat them 1-0. Yeah, they beat them in a cup final against all odds. Yeah, Wigan are in League One, aren't they? Are they in League One? Yeah, they just beat Man City. We played them twice, didn't score a goal. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
bro, I don't care what team it is. We should never be losing 6-0, 8-2, 4-0, 6-3. What was it?
There's so many embarrassing back-to-back 3-0s that we got.
The back-to-back 5-1s, 3 in a row.
15-3.
I don't care who we're playing. There is no excuse for that. I'm not saying we should win every single fucking game. And I think that's where certain Venetians get it confused. All I want is to show effort. And if ultimately, at the end of the day, a team is better than us, fine. What the fuck can you do? But it's like you watch Man City, and don't get me wrong, I think most people accepted Man City are going to beat us in both games, right? Most people accepted that. But it was the way we fucking played in both games.
It's a manner of the loss.
What the fuck? Like, I felt so sorry for all of you guys that went to Wembley. I really desperately tried to get, it was surprisingly really difficult to get tickets for that game, right? And I felt so almost relieved that I didn't get tickets for that Wembley final. Just to watch that bullshit performance.
Do you know what, Chris, right? I weren't even pissed off, yeah? I weren't pissed off. Man City are a quality football team, yeah? They got the best manager in the league. They've got one of the best strikers in the world. They got one of the best midfielders in the world, Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah. So I weren't pissed off. What I was pissed off with is the game the other night, yeah, against Man City. Because after putting in the shit performance and not looking like you're even trying and just walking around like numpties, yeah, you've then got a chance to redeem yourself and a chance to put everything right. Although you can't win a cup out of it, go out there and show the club and show the fans and show everyone who wasted their money going to Wembley. And it ain't just about the football ticket, it's about the whole day, yeah? We wasted a whole day, yeah? We wasted a lot of money going to that game, right? And I know it ain't about the money before somebody starts going, oh, don't go then, yeah? But they should have gone out there on Thursday night and gone, do you know what? They embarrassed us at Wembley. They didn't even try. All them fans, we let every single one of them down. Let's go out there and show that we actually give a toss. And not one of them tried. Not one of them tried on Thursday. Yeah. And, you know, people go, oh, yeah, but they're professional footballers. Of course they're trying. No, they ain't. Yeah, no, they ain't. You telling me Mesut Ozil weren't hiding today? Yeah.
I mean, Lee, sorry to cut you there. You know, would I love to see Mesut Ozil try to lead us out technically, you know, physically. And you could see that there's no physical ability to him leading out the team. And you look at Mesut Ozil and you think, okay, the wages you're on, you just signed a new contract, right? Wenger's already said, now that you signed this new contract, we're going to look to you to lead us in games, grab these games by the scruff of the neck and just and find players. And you just find this guy hiding on the pitch. You know, you think to yourself, De Bruyne don't do that. Top level midfielders in the country. And I'm talking about people like Silva, people like De Bruyne, even Willian for Chelsea. When he plays, that guy don't hide. Yeah,
no, they don't. Mate, you've only got.
And they're not.
Sorry, Ola. You've only got to look at the game we're watching now. Yeah, while we're doing this stream. Yeah, De Bruyne and Silva are running that game. They are running that game. They are running, and it's effortless. It just don't look like they're even. I know they've got quality players around them, right? And everything that gets labelled is, oh yeah, but Ozil, look at he had Giroud in front of him. That was a big excuse for 4 or 5 years. Yeah, oh he's got Giroud in front of him. Well, now he's got fucking Aubameyang. Yeah. And we've made Aubameyang look pony since he's come here. Yeah. Before that, he had Lacazette in front of him. Yeah. Look at Lacazette. That geezer who was up front, I can't even remember his name, who was up front for Brighton today, yeah, has scored more goals than Lacazette this season.
What, Glenn Murray?
Yeah. And we've apparently got the best number 10 in the world. Yeah. So why is Lacazette only on 9 goals then? Do you know what I mean?
Just showing the top PL assist, and there's nothing there to do with Ozil. And they've just showed about 8 players.
But the funny thing is, though, Lee, you talk about Man City. Forget Man City. Chelsea are only losing 1-0 to these fuckers. And you know what? They're giving a decent account of themselves. Let's be real here. They're playing the best team possibly in Europe at home. And they're not getting disgraced. They're trying. They're trying at least.
And listen, they've been camped in their box, right? Chelsea have been camped in their box most of the game, right? But when they break away, they've got chances. Yeah, if Moses hadn't have just skied that into the crowd, if that was a striker, if that was Hazard, or if that was Pedro, that would have been a goal. Or William, that would have been a goal. Because it was their right back, it went into the crowd,
It should be at least looking to square
so
that.
it should have been 1-1, but let's have it right, man. Like, Man City are a quality football team, but Wigan beat them. Wigan beat them. Yeah, this is one of the best teams in Europe this season. Yeah, the only team that scored more than them this season is PSG. Yeah, and Wigan stopped them scoring and beat them. Yeah, so if Wigan can do that, how did Wigan do that? Yeah,
they had a plan.
They had a plan, exactly. Now I don't even know who Wigan's manager is. Right, and I know that's a bit arrogant, yeah. Right, but I have no idea who their manager is. I don't know his name, right?
We know who Osterson's manager is.
Oh, shut up, man.
He's right here.
Mate, I've had that non-stop for a month now, man. It's like, do you know what I mean?
It's not going anywhere anytime soon, either, mate.
Just call me Lee Potter, right? But if the Wigan manager, who is a League One standard manager, can set up a team to go into a game against one of the best teams in Europe with one of the best strike forces in Europe, probably the best midfield or one of the best midfields in Europe, and stop them scoring a goal and beat them, why can't we score a goal against them? And why do we get disgraced and embarrassed 2 games in a row against them? Yeah, and if you look at the 3 games we've played against them this season, it's 9-1 on aggregate.
That's crazy, man.
Do you know what I mean? It's 9-1. It's not quite 10-2 over 2 games, or 15-3 over 3 games, but 9-1 on aggregate. Yeah, and I was at that City game at the Etihad, right? And they should have been 4-5-0 up in that first half. They battered us, man. Yeah, and then we got the goal back, and then they got a little bit lucky because I think their 3rd goal was offside or whatever, Right, and we were all over them, but why didn't he start Lacazette in that game? And it's like some of the decisions, right? If you look at it, Lacazette, he did an interview before the Liverpool game at Anfield, right? Saying how he wants to come and be the big man in the big games and all this and that. And he sat down with Thierry Henry and he was talking about it and blah, 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 right? He then gets benched at Anfield, right? He gets benched at the Etihad, yeah? Do you know what I mean? It's like he gets benched at White Hart Lane. Yeah? 3 big away games, he's benched. Why? That was our £50 million striker that's going to be the difference in the big games. Why is he benched? Yeah? And like, Kolasinac is another one. One of the best, well, he was the best left back in the Bundesliga last season. He was in their team of the year. Yeah? Look at what we've done to that guy. Yeah, that guy just looks like a bang average footballer.
Sorry to cut you there, Lee. I mean, when you look at these new players that we bring in, and they turning into a shell of a player that they were before we bought them. And this is the problem that actually happens. We scout players before we buy them for a specific role that they're doing well in at the club where they was before they came to Arsenal. They come to Arsenal and they're expected to do something totally different training regime, which doesn't actually contain of any kind of instruction, and they end up being shit. And this is what's been happening to all this new, because it can't be coincidence, can it?
No.
For all these players that we keep bringing to the club, they were excellent players. You know, we look at these players, we go on YouTube, them, some of them we follow, and you check out their stats, and they have all these great stats before they come to Arsenal. And soon as they arrive to Arsenal, it's like.
But I've said that before, though.
It's like we got robbed.
You can change the engine, you can change the wheels, you can change the alloys, but ultimately, if you still keep getting in car crashes, motherfucker, it's the driver.
Exactly.
It's the driver.
Chris, I've said before this season a few times, right? We could go and buy Messi and Ronaldo, yeah, and we would still look shit. We would.
Exactly.
Look at Pep Guardiola, right? He went out and done £200 million on left and right backs, yeah. And then he turned Fabian Delph into the best left back in the fucking league.
Incredible scenes, man.
My man spent £50 million on fucking Mendy or whatever the fuck he spent on him, yeah? Right? And then thought, no, do you know what? Fabian Delph, I'm going to put him at left back. And he's been fucking brilliant. Yeah? So if he can manage a player, look at Sterling. Yeah? The day Pep Guardiola signed for Man City, I tweeted out saying he will make Sterling world class. Yeah? The first season he was there, I think Sterling scored 6 goals. Yeah? And people were quoting it, going, oh, no, you chat shit. Yeah? Am I still chatting shit? Because every time Sterling plays this season, he looks fucking world class. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it all boils down to the manager. Everything bad at this football club is the manager's fault. Yeah? People can say, oh, yeah, but the board haven't given him money. He spent 400 million quid in 4 years. And we've got worse.
120 million in 6 months.
Exactly. on two of the best strikers in Europe, and we've made them both look shit.
Absolute craziness.
Only Arsenal. All right. So what I've done, I've asked the chat just to kind of move towards wrapping this up. Again, thank you to the people that are stuck with us and still watching. Make sure you absolutely crush and destroy that like button. I appreciate it every time you guys do that, and hit that subscribe button. So I've asked the chat room to come up with 5 questions that we're going to finish off with before we go. And Bruno Mike is a faithful listener of mine, and I actually have seen him subscribe to your channel, Lee. Bruno Michael asks, guys, with Napoli's situation with Maurizio, I can't even pronounce that first name, I'm not going to lie. Sarri's contract ending in the summer. Do you think he should be our main target for us to go for? Because let's face it, it's the board, they don't like spending money. So we're going to have to be looking at people who are coming towards the end of contracts. So do you think he would be a good target for us?
Sorry, who's that?
Oh, my answer.
Who's the manager? Sorry.
Sarri, the Napoli manager. My answer to that would be fuck yes. I'd be happy with him because Napoli played great football.
No joke, right? I would literally pluck anybody out of the crowd at any fucking game we play and say, here you go, mate. Here's £5 million a year. Make us better. And they'll do a better job.
So
and that's no exaggeration. Anyone could do a better job than him, mate. Anybody.
Okay. Ola?
He's the worst manager in world football right now. He is. Look at the money. Look at the money he spent. The money he spent. Yeah, the same boring shit training, the same tactics every game. That's if there is any fucking tactics. The same shit fucks playing every week. Yeah, regardless of how well or how bad they play, they're starting again. Mustafi, Xhaka, Iwobi, guaranteed they will get Bellerin. I know he dropped Bellerin today, and Bellerin, by the way, he came on and then lost a 70-30 fucking challenge. It's like, come on, mate.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, are you some sort of pussy? Seriously.
There was one bit during the game where Xhaka was about to make a throw-in, and Bellerin was stood right next to him on the touchline, pointing to Xhaka where he should be throwing the ball. And I'm thinking to myself, hold the fuck on. Why are you making yourself available on the fucking pitch? Why are you standing on the sideline with fucking Xhaka, pointing to him where he should be throwing the ball when you should be on the pitch, receiving the ball, making yourself available, give him an option.
Well, I can't wait for this shit to end, man. Seriously.
We've got 9 men on the pitch, you idiot. Get on the fucking pitch and stop fucking pointing. You know,
mate, seriously, honestly though, right? I know you want to wrap up, Chris, so I'm going to shut up talking in a minute, right? But was there at any point in that game, lads, where you actually thought at 2-1, do you know what? We're going to come back and we're going to get something out of this? Because I honestly didn't think we'd get a draw.
If Brighton were more clinical, we should have lost that game 5 or 6-1 easily.
In the first half, they did that free. Did you see the free kick they did in the first half?
It was ridiculous.
Just stood still and they had 4 men clean through on goal. Yeah, he gave that offside. Yeah, his Queerdo was clean through. Yeah, he should have squared it. I think it's Glenn Murray, their striker, isn't it?
Yeah,
he should have squared it, and then the ref gave it offside. When you actually look at the replay, he actually wasn't offside. Yeah. Now a better team with a better player. Yeah, who would have known that his striker was to the left of him would have squared that. That would have squared that.
Yeah. The amount of times that broke,
there was another one where they scored and it was offside. That was genuinely offside. Yeah, but mate, we're playing Brighton. This is fucking Brighton. Sorry, no disrespect to any Brighton fans that watch this video. Yeah, but they were a championship team less than a fucking year ago. Yeah, and we've just been absolutely ripped a new one. And are sitting here talking about how we should have lost 5 or 6.
Well, the way they played against us today, Lee, they played like the Seagulls in fucking Brighton. Because when I've been to Brighton, the Seagulls down there look like they're on fucking steroids, mate. I tell you right now. If you see the size of them Seagulls, they're different to every Seagull that I see in every other part of the country. The Seagulls down there, they are fucking huge. And the way they play, the way they played us today, it's like they were on fucking steroids compared to us. And we just didn't match, and physically we didn't pick up the second balls. We was inferior to them today. Today we was inferior to Brighton, and that just goes to show the state of our club right now.
When does it end, man? When does it fucking end? I'll tell you when it ends. When somebody grows a set of fucking balls and sacks him.
Yeah, well, I don't see nobody growing any balls down there right now, man.
I don't know, man. I think he will go. I think he will be gone by the end of this season. I can't see him being manager next season, because if he is, we're going to end up with a stadium that's half empty. Yeah, fucking. The thing is, like, it's not been like I've been to most of the away games this season, yeah, and it's not been that toxic, yeah. And I know that, like, from speaking to mates that went last season to the away games and that, there was fights in the crowd, like fucking all kicking off afterwards, yeah, and like people were saying respect him. This season, everyone seems a little bit resigned to it, man. Like, we lost to Stoke and we were a little bit unlucky against Stoke. So I thought Lacazette's goal should have stood, yeah. But even in that game, like, you know, we're pressing, sideways, and then bang, they break, 1 goal, 1-0. Yeah. And like, you know, you then go to Anfield, the second away game. Yeah. And we're singing we're fucking shit of 4-0 down. Like, you know, and that's the second away game of the season. The third game of the season, we've lost 2 of them, and we're singing we're fucking shit.
I mean, Lee, including all of those that you've just mentioned as well, it's the people that we allow to keep scoring goals against us as well. I mean, the guy that scored the first goal today, he scored the most own goals against his own team in the league. That dunk geezer. He scored the most own goals. It's his first goal. I was watching Swansea yesterday, and they were talking about Sam Klukas. Yeah? The only 3 goals that he's ever scored since he moved to Swansea came from playing against Arsenal, and they were identical goals. To
be fair, he was fucking brilliant against us.
He's always brilliant against us. That's the point. He's always brilliant against us.
But it's the same. It's the same.
Jay Rodriguez. Where are these guys?
Yes, but Just let me ask you this, just because Praveen asked it to you, Lee. Are you going to the San Siro on Thursday?
Right. I was going to the San Siro. I was genuinely going, right? But the company we normally do the European away games with is a company called Sport Options. Yeah, and it's like a day trip. You fly out in the morning. They meet you at the airport, take you to the ground or the town. Then you get the shuttle to the stadium, and then straight after the game, you get on the coach and you're straight back home. Yeah, so it would have been a 7:30 flight in the morning and back at midnight. Yeah, which is quicker than going to Liverpool away. Right, I would have been tucked up in bed by 1:30. But when I spoke to Sport Options, they said that only 8 people had inquired. Yeah, so they couldn't charter a flight because they only had 8 people interested, which sort of says it all, really, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? 8 people. Yeah, I've seen umpteen amounts of tweets on Twitter this week where people are saying, I've got 3 or 4 tickets for AC Milan away. Yeah, DM me if you want them. Yeah, face value, blah, because nobody wants to go, mate. Nobody wants to go. So I was going, yeah, and the people I go with, yeah, they're still going. Yeah, but it's 2 days off work now. Yeah, because they've had to do it a different way without going through that company, and it's now a 2-day trip rather than a 1-day trip. I ain't taking 2 days off for that shit, man. Yeah, it's worked out cheaper than doing the 1-day trip, but then when you add in the money that you're going to lose for 2 days off work, it works out more, innit? So I ain't doing that, man. Yeah, I ain't doing that. If we get through, then I'll probably do the next game away. Like, but I can't see us getting through at the minute.
All right, boys. I think that probably covers everything. Let me get your final thoughts, both of you, on where you think this will ultimately end. So, Ola, what do you think will happen? Richie, going forward, so from AC Milan to the end of the season, whether you think Wenger's going tonight, end of the season, whatever. What do you see happening? Final thoughts.
I didn't hear a word of that, man. Say that again.
Oh, okay. So this was to Ola.
I'll admit myself.
What your whether you think the manager's going this season, next season, end of this season. What are your final thoughts? Where do you see this ending?
Bro, I don't know where we go from here. I mean, you can't even see where the next win is going to come from, let alone where we're going from here. We've got the blind leading the club at the moment. We've got a clueless manager in charge of the club at the moment, and until that changes, you know, I've put it this way: I've written off this whole season. This whole season, I'm just ripping it all up, putting it in the bin, because until this manager goes, I don't see any sort of progress. I don't see any sort of fight from the players. The players, for me, it's like they again speaking to us. They don't want to play for this manager no more, and it's clear for the whole world to see. Because I'm a firm believer that if somebody comes in with a different voice, different idea, different sort of direction, these players will pick themselves up, galvanize, and fight for the remainder of the season. But while this guy is in charge, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm in pre-season mode. I mean, we're the only club that has the Ferguson and the Moyes period rolled up in one without sacking the manager. We're the only club, and that's just us. You know, it's just mind-boggling how we still allowing this to happen. Every single club that's won the league in the last 3 years, that their players have refused to play for the manager. They've all been sacked, right from Mourinho at Chelsea, to Ranieri at Leicester, to Conte right now. Is under that same pressure, and every single one of them, that their players is shown that they're not really up for the fight again for this manager. They're not believing in his ideas. They've all been fired. What is Wenger still doing there? And that's until that question is answered. I mean, this season is over for me. Yeah. Simple as that.
And Lee, your final thoughts for the season, the week?
The season was dead and buried after 3 games, mate. As soon as we lost to Stoke and Liverpool, it was title done. Yeah. If anyone thought we had a chance of winning the title, then it was done after 3 games. I didn't think that we'd win the title. I thought we'd finish 6th. Said that at the start of the season. It looks like we're going to finish 6th. AC Milan will probably batter us, especially if we play the way we've played the last couple of months, most of the season, really. And I think he'll be gone at the end of the season. I think he's gone, mate. I do. I can't see how he can continue. Yeah, and you know, you've only got to look at the financial statistics that came out the other day about how we've lost 30 million quid but still made £20 million profit.
It's craziness, man.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we see where the ball are going with this one. It's all about money. But, you know, we're not going to qualify for Champions League because we ain't going to win the Europa League. So, again, the money then drops again next season. Yeah, and there's only so much longer they can keep going with money dropping before they go, do you know what? Enough's the fucking enough. So, add into that the shit results and the fans going nuts, the empty stadiums. I think he's gone, mate. I think he'll be gone at the end of the season.
Lee, sorry. You know, when Chris Hughton takes one look at your bench and see Welbeck getting dressed to come on the pitch, and he's not even twitching. The man ain't even phased one bit. You know it's over for the club. You know it's over. It's over for you. You know, and that's where we are as a club right now, man. It's dead right now. The motivation for the players is dead. There are a lot of things that Arsenal used to be good at, and the fans and everybody watching can identify with it. But right now, we've moved away from all those things, and you know this could be indeed the legacy that Wenger leaves behind.
And that's the thing, horrible. And that's, I suppose, sums up my final thoughts. This man should have left one of the greatest of all time. Even if he never won the Champions League, if he had walked away after that whole victory, hell, if he had walked away last season, time is a healer. People would have looked at him as, you know what, he did all right. He did all right. He wasn't great, but he did all right. But now all people are going to remember is this. But I still believe that in 5 years, 10 years, people will look back and they will say, all right, he did something good. He pissed me off, but he did something. He did something. I like to think eventually that's what I will end up telling my kids. That he did all right. He did something. And that's it from us, really, guys. Thank you so much to the 200 odd that are still with us.
Wow.
I know
there's still a lot of people out here with us, man. People have been dipping out to watch Arsenal Fan TV, trying to watch Lee's interview.
I think so. I think it was
AFTV and chill in a minute, lads. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, they dipping out.
Yeah. We had almost 450 at one point with us, so I think they are just dipped in and dipped out. But
I'm going to go and get the popcorn ready and put AFTV on in a minute. As we all know, it's always their fault we lose. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, not you guys that are still with us. I am with 2 people who also have their own YouTube channel. So Ola, I don't know what's going on with yours, man. If anything, I'm always surprised when yours pops up on my list. Because Ola's actually done a video.
This club's ruining me, man. This club's ruining this. They look. I ain't got the gumption like you, man. The way you, man. You know, I gotta take my hat off to you, man. You know what I mean? You, man, are dedicated. It's tough doing what we do, you know, on YouTube. And sometimes the motivation ain't there because you're thinking, if this fucking club ain't bothered, why the fuck should that fucking break my neck? And at the same time, I'm out, you know what I mean? I'm out majority of the time working, and I work very, very long hours. But yeah, salute to you, man, for what you, man, are doing, man. Seriously.
Let them know where they can find you, brother. Let them know where they can find you, the people.
Yeah, come to Capitalscorpionz 3 on Twitter. Come check me out on there. I'm always on Twitter. I'm active on Twitter most of the time. And Capitalscorpionz Tv on YouTube. got some videos on there. Come check us out. And yeah, big up to both of you as well for the shout outs that you've given us recently. I appreciate it. And
that's cool,
yeah,
man. That's
thanks
cool
for that. No, man, I appreciate that.
And you know me, guys, whenever I'm doing this, I'm in a rush, but all of the details will be in the description below, including Trouble over there sipping his Fosters or whatever it is he's drinking.
Yeah, man.
Let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, you can find me LeeGunner82 on Twitter, LeeGunner82 on Instagram. I'm trying to push my Instagram at the minute.
I plugged it. I did put it on my description last time.
Yeah, I'm trying to push my Insta, man, because like I can't link my videos. You can't do the swipe up feature on Instagram unless you've got 10,000 followers. Yeah, so I can't link my videos on the swipe up. So I need to get it up to 10K, and I'm on like 2,600 or something. So anyone who wants to follow my Insta, go follow that shit. And yeah, Gunner Bang on YouTube. And trust, it's banging, man. Since I joined this podcast, my videos smashed nearly 15,000 views. And I put it up just before I come in. So yeah, that's
you're on your way to 10,000 right now, aren't you? I know you just crossed 9,000.
Well, I've picked up, since I've done this podcast, I've picked up over 200 subscribers on my channel. I just had a look a second ago. So yeah, I'm nearly on 9,500 now. So yeah, it's gonna be mad. So yeah, profiting off failure and everything. Hector Bellerin.
Profit off that failure, my dad.
You know what I mean? Yeah, fuck it. But yeah, that's where you can find me, man. So yeah, appreciate everyone who's dipped in and out or who's still with us. So nice one, appreciate it.
And
thanks for letting me on again.
I know I'm biased, but Lee's channel is legitimately one of my favorite YouTube channels because you know he's always going to have something a little different to what other people have. He's not one of these people who kind of sits and waits for other people to drop their shit and then he forms an opinion off that. He's very individual in that respect. So definitely,
you've only got to look at my Bellerin video for that one. Oh shit!
Talk about a viral moment, man. That was mad. Still, that was a smash hit.
Yeah, that did bang.
Where you look at it, because you might be thinking back to yourself like, oh, why the fuck did I do that? But you know, just looking at everything on the hindsight now, you're thinking, you know, I'm glad I fucking did that. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Since he started putting fans down, he ain't won a football match. So maybe he should look at himself. Yeah,
Exactly.
Four straight losses.
And equally, guys, if there's anyone left, crush that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it whenever you guys do that. I'll try and give out content to new people. And also a big shout out to Tom once again, who made his debut.
Large up yourself, Tom Canton. Big up.
Yeah, man.
The talk, which I'll probably be watching later because I'm very curious to see what Kenny Ken has to say apart from anything else.
Big up, Kenny.
So, yeah, another friend of the show.
Yeah, man,
who I'll at some point have back on. And yeah, guys, just enjoy your Sunday night. Continue watching the game. Probably go and watch AFTV and chill, no doubt. And yeah, go and enjoy yourself, guys. Take care.
Wenger out. Wenger the fuck out. Wenger out.
You know what? Wenger the fuck out too. Yeah, I'm